Hello everyone. Uh, in the fourth video of Power BI, I will be taking four more topics. One would be how to pivot and unpivot columns, how to use fill up and fill down option that is given in the Power Query, and how to use a option called use as a header in Power Query. So I'm sharing my screen. So in order to understand how fill up and fill down works in Power Query, I will be extracting a fresh data source, data set, new source. It's an Excel workbook, and this is the data set, fill data. So sometimes what happens is, let's say I extract some data that is created in Excel and that is in the form of a pivot table. So if I show you the data, so this data has been created with pivot table. You can see for for FY18 we have all the months 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the customer sum of customer IDs here. For so this is for FY18. Basically, if we create a summary in Excel using pivot tables, it is created in this format. But this data, while we look at this data, these blank rows from row number 2 to row number 6 and then row number 8, the blank rows are, they are a little bit confusing. So in order to make it more readable or more understandable, we can uh, I want FY18 to be filled till from row 1 to row 6, and in row 7 and row 8 it should be FY19. How to do that? So there in the transform tab you can see there's a fill option. So in case I select fill down, what will happen? Uh, 2000 FY18 will be spread across row number 2 to row number 6, and in row number 8 FY19 will be filled. And let me uh, cross this step, and let's say if I press fill up, then FY19 will be spread across 2 to 6. Although this is from the data point of view, this is incorrect, but still I'll show you how to do it. Fill up. So this is how, so see, grand total has come up. This is incorrect, but this is how filled up works. Okay. So this is how fill option works. The next topic is how to pivot or unpivot the columns. So for this, I'll be using this survey data. Survey data, if you see the survey data here, uh, name is there, the region is there, position is there, domain, tenure. Now, these are multiple questions for which all these persons have answered. The answer is whether they agree to the question, strongly agree, strongly disagree, or neutral. So these are uh, questions and their responses. So, but while I do the analysis, it will be little difficult to analyze this kind of data. So what we can do is we can take all the questions in the rows, and then their responses should come in an adjacent column. In that case, the candidate name could be would definitely be repeated, because for one question, because there is multiple questions asked for one candidate. So let's say for a candidate, if I have asked 10 questions, then candidate's name would appear in would appear 10 times, and would appear 10 times, and 10 times 10 different questions will be aligned in a column, and its its responses will also be uh, written in the next adjacent column. So how to use the pivot? So the we can do that by unpivot option. So I have selected all the columns where these questions are not asked. Okay. So if I go to transform and select on unpivot columns, if I select unpivot columns, it will unpivot all the selected column, but I don't want to unpivot the selected column. I want to unpivot other columns. So unpivot other columns. So here you can see all the questions for, let's say, for first person Jackson Stella. All the questions are coming over in one column, and then his or her responses are coming in the adjacent column. So this way the analysis of this data would be little easier. So this is how we unpivot columns. Now, what is the meaning of pivoting columns? So pivoting columns means if I select on this pivot columns, what will happen is I'll select OK. And here again, the data has spread into all the questions have spread into multiple columns. And in place of the responses that I was getting, agree, disagree, strongly agree, or neutral, I am getting the count of the responses. Everywhere I'll be getting one. So this is also, while we do pivot, the responses are converted into a number. So this is how we pivot columns. Coming to the last topic for this video. Sometimes what happens is if we extract a data set, for example, let me go to employee table. Sometimes let me go to customer table. Sometimes what happens is if I delete all these steps, let's say I'm deleting these steps. So generally, these three steps, while you load the data, these three steps would be visible to you. But sometimes it happens that the data is loaded this way. So in place of headers, I get column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and so on, which is ideally not the correct way. So basically, the first row is the header. So to make Power BI understand that the first row is a header, I can use an option use first row as header. So here you can see all the uh, all the headings are coming in the correct place. So this is how use as header option works. Um, well, I think this is it for today's video. Thank you.